Well, let's welcome Nancy. I'm just going to give you the floor.
Oh, really? We're going right into me? I work for applause. Come on. I work for applause.
Hey.
Okay. All right. Okay. We have one of these too. If you don't like the mask, we can get you one of these. So we're all about being happy. This is an amazing, amazing group. And Deb, thank you. And Rachel for having us, obviously. Tell me ahead of time how much time I have, because I wouldn't have missed a minute of the introduction. My hats off to the registered nurses. Until my granddaughter became one, I didn't really realize how valuable you are until I started having problems. And I love my registered nurse that I go to. There's just a special, God bless you. Let's just put it that way. Bottom line,
about 20 minutes. How about 20 minutes?
I can't say my name in 20 minutes. All right.
Get it.
Did it. Okay. Cut me off if I go too long. I'm Nancy Friedman, founder and chairman of Telephone Doctor Customer Service Training. We provide online training through serviceskills.com. So if you have from 3 people to 3,000 people, we can help in any kind of customer service management, internal, external training. I used to go on site and entertain people with annual programs, both franchise and corporate. And now we do a lot of Zoom programs, although it's starting to open up. We got 3 or 4 live presentations toward August in the last quarter of 2021. I did bring some vodka with me, so if I reach for it, it's just a little vodka. Don't worry about it. Trust me, you'll get a better program. There's so much I wanted to say. I have a little story about advocating for women's health, which I feel is so important. I'm going to start with that. And you can munch on it all you want. In August, we stopped going to we stopped going to the gym because we have a gym downstairs. Well, I thought I was 35 years old. And one day I went downstairs and unfortunately, remind me tomorrow when you get there. Unfortunately, I ruined some ab muscles. And I went to my RN and she said, heat and ice, heat and ice. And a week later I called her, she said, heat, more ice, more heat, more ice. Well, 3 weeks later, I said, I learned from my aunt who lived to be 102, advocate for your own health, watch your own body. We know what our bodies do and can't do and like and don't like. So bottom line, I said, this isn't right. I've never had muscle soreness this long. So I went to the big doctor and he said, let's get a chest x-ray. Thank God, and somebody's got to do something. Well, lo and behold, they found a small abnormal nodule on my right lung. And I said, what's an abnormal nodule? I don't want that. He said, well, it's the biopsy. Well, bottom line, it came out stage 1, cancer of the lung. They removed 3 days later, they removed the top lobe, no lymph glands, no chemo, no radiation, no restrictions, I'm fine. But the bottom line to that story is you know your own body. And it's so important to listen to it. I'm going through a little gallbladder issue now. I've got a doctor appointment at noon today. And I told her too, I said, this isn't normal what I'm having. So anyway, with the registered nurses there, thank you. Today, we're going to do a little game called Golden Nuggets. Golden Nuggets of customer services. Has anybody heard of the Kazan method of training? Kazan from Japan, raise your hand, Kazan. Okay. Well, yeah, Megan, go ahead. Well, what that is, thanks, Rachel. What that is little pieces of information for continuous improvement. So I don't get to preach and go blah, 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 blah. Everything we talk about are little golden nuggets, and they're this size. I pull out, I didn't lose, but for these kind of programs, I do not have the regular golden nugget bag. So I found some wine glasses and we mix them up like this. And these are all little nuggets that will help our life, for our business, for our personal life, for everyday life. They're not just do this and that's the only way you can do it. Probably nothing you've never heard before, but I will say it's probably presented in a different manner than before. And normally the audience gets to pick a nugget and I say, okay, pass laptop. You sure that's not your last name, pass laptop? I'll never forget you. Anyway, we shake them up, we shake them up, we shake them up. And I'll be each one of you. So let's say Christy, hi Christy, you're gonna be our first pick. I know it's in here, I just don't know how they're gonna come out, correct? I mean, I'm not looking at them and they'll just come out like this. So let's see what I pulled out. One nugget, let's see what I pulled out. I love this one. It says 4 useless words. And every one of you has said them today. 4 useless words. Well, what are they? They're not dirty. You'll still go to heaven. They are just useless. And that's when you see somebody, you say, hi, how are you? Fine, how are you? What has happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we've changed it to good to see you. Glad you're here. Thanks for calling. Everything good. I got 22 other things we can say, but hi, how are you has been cut from our lives. We don't say that. We say, good to hear your voice. You're looking great. Thanks for being here. You can make your own list. I'm telling you, you will get more rapport building in any business, both socially and personally, with something other than, hi, how are you? Fine, thank you. How are you? Now, if you know somebody's been sick or not well, etc., different story. I hope you're feeling better. But we have banned hi, how are you, as well as a number of other words. But that one came up first, and I'm glad. By the way, I love interjections. I love challenges. Our website, before I forget, is nancyfriedman.com or serviceskills.com, and I'll put that on the chat line. Well, who else is speaking? Angela? The pretty funny lady.
Audrey.
Audrey. I can't see Audrey. Where'd she go? I don't see Audrey.
Just
Audrey
her
left
name's
me?
showing.
Okay. All right. So if you have a thought, idea, skill, or technique that you want to add on to this, please, that's what we're here for. It's not just my program, it's our program. So let's see what comes up next.
Nancy, hi, I'm here. I was copying the chat. Sorry. Okay.
It's okay. I'm glad you're here. All right, we pulled out another one. This would be great for women. I have this on my makeup mirror. And I read it every morning. Energy, humor, and enthusiasm. If we don't have these three things in life, energy, humor, and enthusiasm, you might as well go back to bed. That's what creates a woman. That's what creates a person. So are there days I wake up and I don't feel great? Of course there are. Of course there are. But bottom line, nobody knows it, least of you, least of all you. My husband share everything. Oh my God, can you ever get well? No. Bottom line, humor, everybody's got to have a sense of humor. People think they do, but sometimes they miss the boat. Energy, you got to walk with energy, talk with energy, be energetic, and enthusiasm for what you do. And I did feel that with everybody that introduced themselves. So you got that. Let's mix them up again and see what we're going to get. With 20 minutes, I don't think we're going to finish this. So I may pick out some that I feel needed to be said. Let's see what we got here. One of my favorites. And everybody says, well, you say everyone's your favorite. These are like my children. I love every single one of these golden nuggets because they've helped me create a business, successful one. Be a double checker. Be a double checker. I'll tell you a short story. I walked into a store, asked for a pair of shoes, and the woman said, we're out. And I said, you haven't even looked. She's like, no, I sold the last pair yesterday. I said, would you do me a favor? Would you go back? Were you here for lunch yesterday? She, of course I was at lunch. Did you go out to lunch? Yeah, I went out to lunch. I said, well, maybe somebody brought them back, a pair back. I want the red 9.5 medium. And she, God forbid she should help me. So she goes back, comes back with a box under her arm. I said, those wouldn't happen to be my red 9.5 medium. She's, well, somebody put them in the wrong place. I made her go back and double check. She wouldn't have done it herself. I never would have gotten the shoes. So when somebody tells you it's not possible, it's not there, we don't have it, we can't do it, that shouldn't be in our lives. That just shouldn't be it. Be a double checker. Our own house here. I don't think there's a morning that goes by that my husband said, Nancy, where did I put my glasses? I said, did you double check the bathroom sink where they are every morning? Oh yeah, there they are. We just double check things around the house. Become a double checker and watch how much success you'll have with just, even if you're right or you're wrong. But if you double check, you'll find a lot more success in life. All right, that's my favorite. Well, they're all my favorite. Let's see another one here. This will get you a prize. I put this on the posting the other day, and some of you and some even non-mountain business women put an answer in. What are the top 3 email frustrations of the American public? And by the way, when we take our surveys, and Deb knows this, my surveys are made up from my live audiences. If I've got 500, 1,000 people in an audience, I'll take a survey. So I'm asking real questions to real people, and I get real answers. I don't make anything up, and nobody does them for me. I get the surveys that I want. So in one of my programs a couple of years ago, I said, let's talk about email. What frustrates you? So who wants to win? Who wants to win this book? 50 little tips that make a big difference. What's the top? Okay, Mary Pat, I saw you first. What do you think the top one is? Can you unmute Mary Pat?
Okay, there, I unmuted. I just lost my train of thought. I apologize.
That never happens to me. Okay, yes, Steph.
I'm gonna guess, well, one of my biggest frustrations is that there's just too many of them. There's too many.
That's on the list, but it is not number one. Yes,
Okay.
Alicia.
Reply all.
Reply all
Drives
is
me
high on
nuts.
the list. High on the list when it's not necessary. Good one, Alicia, but it's not number one. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to tell you. Spelling and grammar errors. Spelling and
Whoa.
grammar errors. That is so high. That is the number one frustration of the American public. I hate to say it, but when I look at LinkedIn and I see these CEO executives, male and female, no races here, just they don't care who you are. And they use the wrong you're, the wrong there, the wrong. I was never allowed to use the word stupid as a child, but that's what you look like. You look like you're not a smart person when you use the wrong tense. And all it takes is to be a double checker and just reread. Now, there are people who don't get which you're to use, which they're to use. That's okay. I have trouble with, and there's a word, there's two words that I get mixed up. And so I decide I just won't use those words. Why should I have stress in my life of which word should I use? So use another word. Just don't fight yourself with having to think which your is it, which there is it, which C is it, which two is it. But spelling and grammar, subject line came in second because we changed topics and we forget to change the subject line. That's a huge frustration and can be a danger. How much time do I have left, Deb? 10 minutes. Oh, we're doing good. All righty. Okay. Having fun so far? Let me see. Okay, everybody. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. That's important to a speaker, isn't it? Yes. We got to know what we're making. Okay, let's go see what we got. Oh. How many of you here have caller ID on your, well, we all have it on our cell phone. We all have it on our cell phone. And if you have a landline, why does Telephone Doctor think it's ineffective? Another short story that will show you why. I had a secretary many years ago. We had caller ID at the office in St. Louis. And one day her phone rang and she saw her fiance's name and phone number. So she picked it up and she said something rather personal and inappropriate on a business phone. The next thing I knew, she's coming in screaming and crying. I thought somebody died. What happened? What happened? Well, you figured it out. It wasn't her fiance. It was her fiance's boss. So unless you can go to Vegas and tell me what color's coming up or what number's coming up on that roulette wheel, answer the phone professionally every single time. My husband calls me on my cell phone too, okay? I don't say, hi, honey. I've never said, hi, Deb. We answer the phone at this house with, hi, this is Nancy. I know who it is, maybe. But sometimes somebody says, hey, call Nancy for me, or will you tell Nancy, or give Nancy a call for me? And it's the right number, but the wrong person. And I have horror story after horror story after horror story. Why not stay professional 150% and let the person say, hi, this is Nancy. And you say, oh, good to hear from you. Stop with, hi, how are you? Good to hear from you. Glad you're calling, something. So there's two tips in one. But yeah, that caller ID, you can have it. I'm not saying don't have it on your personal business line. Just don't use it as a function of saying, well, hi, Bob Smith, or something inappropriate that it might not be Bob Smith or Mary Jones or Megan Allen. Just don't doubt it, Jamaica. Good to have you here. All right. This one's a shorty. It's just a word, I should have named this company Words Matter. I'm glad I used Telephone Doctor, but words do matter. What's wrong with the word okay? Here's what's wrong. I walked into my bank just the other day and I said, I'm glad you're open because my account is wrong. And she says, okay. I said, it's not okay. She's approving a negative. Why would you approve a negative? She never said, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's fix it. She approved a negative. Somebody got something to say? I hear her.
I do. you know, I called my doctor's office and the receptionist got a hold of me and asked for Audrey. And I said, speaking, this is Audrey. And she talked to me in the third person. Well, she has, or we, you know, I mean, it was incredible. I said, you're talking to me, Audrey.
Yeah, it's words matter, people matter. I'm glad you said that, Audrey. Thank you. All right, let's see what we got here. Keep me honest because I got a few things at the end. Deb, give me a minute or two, will you? I'm not watching the clock. I never watch the clock. By the way, we were out of town when the times went spring ahead. So I'm an hour behind everything and my husband says, I'll fix them. I said, no, I just put a note on everything because we're gonna have to change them back and fall. You know, why take the time? You know how many clocks we have in this house? It's an hour and a half to fix them. Okay. Well, here's something that a telephone Dr. Nancy program cannot exist without this one. And you probably figured out what it was. And that is smile. Now, as a woman, we know how important a smile is. I don't have to tell anybody here how important. We were taught at 2 years old how to get anything we want with a smile. And we use it when we need to. You know we do. I haven't figured out a way to get a man to smile 100%. But show me a picture you don't like of yourself, and I'll show you a picture where you're not smiling. It's that simple. So my little smile mask, which has a smile all the time, and so silly, I'm smiling under the smile mask. I'm thinking, you don't need to smile under the smile mask, but that's my genre, that's me. Dick taught me many years ago. We've been in business since forever. We've had 5 startups, and we worked together 24/7, 100 years. But he taught me a long time ago, Nancy, when we walk through the airport, put just a little cat grin on your face. You'll look better, you'll feel better. So we walk through the airport, not like an idiot with a grin, but just a little smile. I nodded, hello, hello. Because I know what I look like when I'm not smiling, and I don't like it. So yes, I can do an hour program on why it's important to smile. You can hear it, you know. Why does a woman know we can hear it on the phone? A woman knows that. Some people have not. So yes, okay. Oh, let's see that. Let's shake it up again so you know I'm not cheating here. Here's one I want to be sure you get, and that's how to deliver bad news. Anybody here have to deliver bad news to their clients, their customers? Of course you do. Well, words matter. So we have eliminated the word. Deb, I've got some bad news for you. Oh, good. I love bad news. Bring it on, Nancy. Bottom line, we don't use it. So I would say, hey, Deb, I've got some good news and I've got some not so good news. Which would you like to hear first? So by giving the customer, the client, your husband, oh, I used every one of these techniques I used internally with my husband and my kids and me, every one of them. And they know what's coming because that's the fun of it. And when I say to my daughter, hi, Linda, I've got some good news and some not so good news, because why aren't we going shopping? So if you can say that to your clients, because usually you have some good news. I think it's real estate, Alicia, because you're the first one on here. So Mrs. Friedman, I got some good news and some not so good news. Okay, give me the good news first. The house is still available. You're in luck. That's great. Let's look at some good news. Well, they did raise the price on us. So we need to negotiate that. So what you've got is a way to get out of saying, I've got some bad news for you. Who wants bad news? Has anybody ever called you up and said, hey, here's some bad news, please? Oh, sure, I got a pile of it here. So what do you want me to start with? A to Z? I've got them all here. So that's real important to us. We never, ever, ever say I've got some bad news. Even I've got good news and bad news isn't effective. I've got some good news and I've got some not so good news. It works so well. Deb, what do I got? Time for 1 or 2 more? 5 minutes. I'm going to cheat and see which one, because I do want to take some questions. We don't need that one. We need that one. Weak wimpy words. I'm going to do 2 more, and killer words of customer service. Killer words of customer service. We wrote our online training it's very small, unique, boutique platform, 15 series, 150 modules. And one of the titles of the program is Killer Words of Customer Service that will kill the conversation. Anybody want to win a prize? Let's see if we can win the book again. What do you think is the #1 killer word of customer service? Anybody got one?
No.
No is certainly a forbidden phrase. Yes, Rachel. What do you
Can't,
got? Can't?
can't.
You're giving me all the forbidden phrases, but it's not the killer word of customer service. Here it comes.
Hmm.
You go to the restaurant, waiter pours you a glass of water. You look up to the waiter and say, "Thank you." And the waiter says, "No problem."
That's right.
No problem is a huge problem to the American public. And this was overwhelming when I did the survey a couple of years ago. I mean, there was nobody who didn't raise their hand at that one. Nobody. Because no problem is, what am I, a problem? What's wrong with what your mother, the gold standard, you're welcome. You're welcome. Love to do it. Hope I can do it again. Thank you for, you can figure out 22 different ways. Very, very frustrating. Yeah, Rachel? Are you
One of
raising
my
your-
previous bosses, it's funny to say that, one of my previous bosses, that was his pet peeve. And he said, instead of that, you should say, "It would be my pleasure." And that became a standing joke of ours because I would say it to him for anything he would say.
But it's okay to do it like that because it ingrains it in your head. It is a frustration of so many, and not too many people will tell you, "Hey, I hate that phrase." That please don't say. They were not always going to tell you that. And I don't train people one by one by one. Let's go into, I've got a few more here, but I want to hear from you. If there's a question I can answer, my website is nancyfriedman.com. Just where am I? Oh, they're up there, just nancyfriedman.com. Alicia, yeah, go ahead.
Where are you located?
St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised in Chicago, had a stint in San Diego with a radio station my husband bought. He bought a second radio station in St. Louis, and we've been here for a long time.
So do you travel and do conventions?
That's what my job is. Funny you
Okay.
should ask. The travel part has slowed down. We do a lot in the real estate. I've worked with some wonderful companies.
The reason that I ask is I'm on the, it's our 100-year anniversary for the Colorado Association of Realtors this year. And we're having our convention back down at the Broadmoor, and we haven't had it down there in probably 9 years.
Well, it's a
And I'm on the
beautiful place.
committee for speakers. And so we're actually meeting on Monday to pick our breakout session speakers. So I'd like to recommend you if that's okay.
God bless.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you very much. I'll send you some links that you can share with people. You just need to remember to tell them that I'm younger and thinner in person.
I can do that.
Aren't we all? Thank you very much, Alicia. I'll make sure we get connected. The chat room is empty.
Nancy.
Yes.
Nancy, I knew I recognized your name. My parents lived for 40 years in St. Louis off of Creve Coeur, Olivet, Creve Coeur, Ladue.
That's where we are.
Yep,
What is your parents' name?
Marks.
What is,
Leonard Marks, Leonard and Stephanie Marks. They're both deceased now.
Well, thank you for popping in because St. Louis is a big city, big city, but a small city. And sadly, because we worked all of our lives, I didn't get into the groups that I should have as a young woman. I didn't join anything. I didn't even join the temple. We were busy 24/7. How many of you worked with a spouse? Okay, then you know what I'm talking about. You spend 24/7 with each other. And I will tell you, this last 14 months, we've been locked down for 14 months. We just made our first trip to the Florida Keys to visit our condo. But people say, how did you work with your husband, 24/7, and you're locked down 24/7, you breathe, you eat, you sleep, all the same so much. How did you work with your husband that much? And my answer is what Dick told somebody a long time ago. He said, we didn't know it couldn't work. We didn't know it shouldn't work. We just
well,
did
that's
it.
awesome.
We just did it. Yeah, Rach, go ahead. Is that your hand?
More
Rachel?
Jewish geography. Yeah, I was raised in Olivet and have grandparents that were in Ladue and Chesterfield and St. Louis. No wonder we love you. You've been awesome this morning. I can't thank you enough for being so bright and fun.
Thank you. You made it possible. Big shout out to Deb for bringing me in. I
Yeah.
love meeting all of you. Please link in with me, Nancy Friedman on the LinkedIn. If I can obviously be of any help, that's what we're all about. And Alicia, I will send me your email, will you? Nancy@telephonedoctor.com. NANCY and then telephone doctor is all one word. I have one last thing about communications. Do I have time, Deb? I don't want to take,
Not
okay.
really, but I think we're gonna have you come back. So we're
oh, then
gonna
I'll save this. I'll save this.
save it because I know you have a basket full. So thank you, Nancy, very
My
much.
pleasure. God bless all of you. Have a good day. Thank you.